come back to us and say, we had such a good time. This is like being at somebody's house.
And watching all the horses and buggies go by, drinking their coffee on Sunday morning.
Jack and Brenda, we really appreciate you all having us out for lunch today at the Thomas House here in Dayton. Kevin said when we got here, it's been 30 years since he's been here.
When my parents were younger, I lived down the street, and it would be a great place for us to come and get some breakfast, and of course the country lunch, the good old meatloaf and fried chicken.
Growing up, this was always like our Saturday morning, come in for biscuits and gravy.
Good to have you guys here.
Thank you.
This is a pretty timeless place, but y'all are relatively new owners. I know you bought it in 2019.
It's been around since 47, 48, ever since Lottie started it. We were pretty excited to get here. We had some ideas for the Airbnb, and as soon as we came out into spring, we're like, all right, great, we'll make some money now that we're out of the winter. And then the pandemic happened.
Our main goal was to keep our folks employed while we were working through it. The folks who work here have always been kind of a family, and so many of them stuck around when we bought the place.
It was a good opportunity for us to go through things like the meatloaf and say, hey, how can we keep this attractive to the customers that are currently buying it, but then also make it a little bit more timeless as we move forward.
From my perspective, there was a lot of talk when you all bought it. It's like, oh, are they going to do a complete change up? And I think it's great that, while you definitely improved some things, you kept the feel. It's great to see the same friendly faces that I saw when I was a kid.
But about half the staff is still here. And we've got people that have been here for 23 years.
Wow.
How many restaurants have people that have been there 23 years? Not many. Good for you. Good for you for keeping staff.
That's one of the most amazing things is when we first bought it, hearing all the stories of the folks, the older folks who are like, oh yes, I bring my grandchildren here today, but my parents brought me here. It's the generational thing that happens here, all the meeting groups.
The staff's been here for 20, but the customers, they've been coming here for 50, 55 years, so they tell us all the stories about Lottie.
If you're looking to move to a place like this and settle down, a small town like Dayton, where you can just walk to the Thomas House and grab a good old country meal, is rare.
And it's more than just the food. It's a place for the community to come together. We have a lot of community groups, a lot of church groups that come here, and they use this building as their meeting place. We've got a group that comes in on Saturdays, and they do trivia and family reunions.
You all were talking about an Airbnb that you have above, that is Dayton proper's only Airbnb.
We were not going to reside here like some of the previous owners, and we thought what a better use of the space than to allow folks to come in and stay. We have 2 rooms, each has their own bathroom, and then they share a common area.
You got Bridgewater and Harrisonburg, and you're right in between. You've got a lot to offer.
And now that the Quilt Museum is down the street at Silver Lake Mill, we have folks who come from out of town to see that.
And they enjoy the quaintness of the town itself.
We really want to thank you guys for having us. The food is great. It's exactly what I thought. Just awesome.
Just as I remember it, but thank you all again so much for having us and for sitting down and chatting. It was great to get to know you all a little better as well as your business.
Thank you.